viewers. Are we live? Testing. Let me check real quick. Make sure we are. When we're officially. Yes, sir. We are officially live. Welcome everybody to the stream. Just doing a couple last minute things here and there. Getting everything, making sure our audio is straight. Everything sounds good. Image quality looks beautiful. Yes, perfect. Listen, guys, we have a very special guest here. We have 561 Fitted in the building, creating some of the best hats that I've seen in a while. Go check him out on Instagram. We're going to get into his sneaker history, his sneaker knowledge, and his hat knowledge. Basically, how he got into creating hats, all of that nitty-gritty. But you guys already know that we start off with some sneaker news. Let me share my screen so then you can keep along with us right here. Okay, you can see my screen, correct? Right, everything's good? Perfect.
Yeah.
First topic of the day, right here. Got some Air Jordan 5 love. Got the Air Jordan 5 Women's Lucky Green. Green is my favorite color. With Air Jordan 5s, I like to keep it retro colorways or maybe 2005, 2006 colorways and older. But I think this one is a good one. I like that they added the black tongue. I like the green Jumpman in there. What's your thoughts on the Air Jordan 5 Women's Lucky Green?
It's a nice colorway, you know. It's a colorway that we haven't seen or we've seen it in I think the Jordan 4s, correct? Or the Jordan 3.
Yeah. We've seen a couple different, and then the Jordan 1s as well, like with the pine greens. It's kind of like a pine green.
Yeah. So it's a nice colorway, you know, for the women. They always get all the nice colorways, you know.
Yeah, exactly. This release is February 28th. Hopefully we see extended sizes, but you know, Jordan Brand is known not to do that with, you know, the Air Jordan 1 satin bread that just recently released. They didn't give us upgrading plus sizing. You know, they only went up to size 10.5 men, 12 women. So I'm interested to see this pair in hand to see what the quality is on this Air Jordan 5. Next up, we have another Air Jordan 5, one of the most anticipated Jordans for 2024, in my opinion, an olive Air Jordan 5, originally releasing back in 2005, 2006 era. Some of the best Air Jordan 5s, you know, with the green beans, the burgundies. We've been seeing a lot of retros. What's your thoughts on the olive Air Jordan 5s?
It's actually a pretty nice shoe. I remember back in the day when I was in high school, because that's when I started collecting sneakers. So we were in Seoul at that time. It was our local Facebook group. And I remember seeing these a couple times, and they were considered like grails because, you know, everything was all about Jordans back in the day before all the hype got. But these are a nice shoe. You know, the material looks nice from the pictures, but gotta wait and see. Like, you know, Jordan always like switching things up once you get him in hand. So
yeah. I'm just hoping to keep it as true as the colors. You know, like we got Raging Bull 5s, we got Green Bean 5s, like I said, Burgundy 5s. That Air Jordan 5 Air, like from the 2006 time period, that time should be studied because these Air Jordan 5s they were putting out. Those gray and pink ones, oh god, Stealth 5s. Air Jordan 5s was king back then, and this is fire. We got an olive green and orange. Two of my favorite colors, green and orange. Can't go wrong with that. This is a must cop for me. March 9th, retail $210. I think it's fire. Next piece of sneaker news we have, and last piece right here, we have the best look yet at the Air Jordan 4 Bread Reimagined, set to release February 17th, 2024. I'll lead it off. I'll let you lead it off. What are your thoughts on the leather joints right here?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not a big fan. I thought when I heard they were coming back, and I saw the rumors that they were gonna be leather. We saw some customs, but we didn't think nothing was confirmed at that time. But now obviously it's confirmed. But my thoughts, I'm not a big fan of the leather. You know, it reminds me of. I feel like the leather that they use nowadays isn't as good as it used to be. If you remember the Oreo 4s back in the day, like those were clean. So it kind of gives me the same vibe, but with not the same material, you know.
Yeah, 100%. I definitely do agree with you there. Hopefully we'll see what type of leather Jordan Brand gives us on these, because if they give us that cheap plastic leather, which this does look it looks soft, but that's just the images. I am kind of a purist in this sense when it comes to some of these Air Jordan 4 colorways. I like the suede, but I have been seeing a lot of people talking about this shoe, saying that they like this one better than the OG suedes. So I think it's a cool shoe. I think if you don't have Air Jordan 4 breads and the suede colorway, this one isn't a bad shoe to pick up. You know, if you want to add that bread Air Jordan 4 to your collection, this isn't a bad one. But I mean, I'll just wait a couple more years and re-up on the pair of suede ones if I had to. But I think this is a good shoe. Retail for this one, they don't have an official retail yet, but I'm guessing it's going to be within that 210 to 250 price range because Jordan Brand has kind of been whacking us over the head with these prices recently. So we'll
It's
see.
leather, so they're probably gonna up the price on it.
Yeah, right. They're gonna call it a premium Air Jordan 4. That's why.
Yeah.
That's funny as shit. All right, let me stop sharing my screen. All right, so now that we went over the sneaker news portion, this is the portion where we get to know the guests a little bit better. And this is a primarily sneaker channel with some hits of fashion and hats. So we're going to go over some of your sneaker history. And we'll start it off pretty simple. What was that first pair of sneakers in your collection? Or one that you remember?
My first pair in the collection that started everything for me when I was in high school, and I will never forget this. It's the True Blue threes.
Okay, it's a good one.
One that released back in I think 2010, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, around that time.
Yeah, I remember. And the reason why I remember it so vividly is because I ordered them off Amazon. Amazon out of all the places.
That's
Yeah.
a risk. You took a risk kind of right there because they could have sent you some Walmart True Blue 3s.
Yeah, so I remember ordering them off Amazon and they came in, and that's when everything set off for me.
Wow, yeah. You see, one shoe can definitely set that off. And was that like you wore that to the ground? Because that's how I started off. I got a pair of Air Jordan 7s, and I wore that sneaker to the ground. I just wore it every single day. It's still in my collection, but it's beat as hell.
Yeah, I wore it actually plenty of times, and then the thing about it at that time, shoe trees were around, but they're not as like they weren't comfortable. So those shoes were like to me the True Blue threes were like a grail to me because
Hmm.
I didn't know anything more, right? So like when I would wear the shoes, and so I because I didn't want to crease them, I would curl my toes up, so
Bro,
that's how much I love those shoes.
yeah, we've lost a lot of toes doing that. I've done that a lot as well, trying to ball up the knuckles just to make sure that the shoe is fitting, correctly without creasing. That's funny. Now, would you say is the Air Jordan 3 your favorite model of all the numbers, or what's your favorite model?
At a moment, yeah, I want to say the three was one of my favorite models, but I think over time, I think it's either between the four or the one. It just fluctuates, I think the four and the one are just such an iconic shoe,
Hmm.
especially when you think about the 99s from for the fours. I own the white cement fours and the bread fours at one point, so I really love that silhouette a lot. But I also love the ones because of the iconic colors you have, right? You have the run, the sorry, the breads, the royals. You know, you got the shadows and so on and so forth.
Yeah, no, those are definitely the top models. Um, Chicago Air Jordan 1 could be arguably the best sneaker ever created. It started everything. It could be an argument for the number one sneaker of all time. Um, what I wanted to ask you was for the Air Jordan 4s and 99s, when you were getting them, Nike Air was on the back, and that's what every sneakerhead wanted. And are you happy that Jordan Brand slowly started putting Nike Airs back on the retros that we've been seeing in the last 5 years, or would you rather them keep that more like exclusive for those type of collectors?
Do you mean by putting the Nike Air on just the original colorways, or like
Yeah.
on?
Yeah, well, on non-original colorways, I hate it. Like like original colorways, like if they put a Nike Air, like I think they put the Nike Air on a pair of Social Status sixes, like a black and purple Social Status, and there was like a long hair suede, and they put Nike Air on that. And and even on Travis sixes, they have Nike Air on there. So like I understand that, but no, like breads and infrared sixes and stuff like that.
When I heard that when they stopped doing it, obviously back in the '90s, and then they brought back the Jumpman straight to it, and then obviously when we heard that there were rumors that they were gonna bring back the Nike Air back to the back types of the newer models coming out in the future,
Mm.
I was excited for it. I was honestly excited. I was all on board for it. I think it's just dope. Like like sometimes the retro stuff like can't get a hold of it anymore, or they just you just can't wear them anymore because they crumble
Yeah.
and stuff. So like, I think adding it to the new models going forward was one of the best things they could have done, especially for like the original colorways. Like the white cement threes, the white cement fours, red fours, and so on. I think it was just the perfect move from them.
Yeah, no, because as a sneaker collector, like when I was coming up, I started collecting sneakers like 2009, and they weren't doing Nike Airs on the back. So when we got the white cement threes, it was Jumpman, and I always wanted to get that swapped out because they had those customs where they had the
Yeah.
Nike Airs on it, and it was always so clean. I've always wanted to have that. And when Jordan Brand started rolling it out, I think the first one was on the black cement threes, or maybe I don't know when the first Nike Air was, but I know they were rolling it out pretty early on some black cement threes, or maybe it was the white cement threes, the 88s
Yeah.
back like in 2016 or something like that.
It was probably those. Yeah, I think it was the one they call like the red line or something like that. The red,
Free throw line, yeah, 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 exactly. That's the
yeah.
exact one. So I mean, I was personally happy with that. So I'm super excited that they're continuing to move forward with that, and I'm hoping that they stop putting it on non OG colorways and just strictly keep it for OG colorways. Another question I had for you with Jordan's coming out, Nike's coming out, New Balance and Asics and all these Sauconys, all these different brands. Obviously Adidas with Kanye. Do you get into any other footwear like that, or is it strictly Nike's, Jordans?
Oh, no, so recently, it's funny that I mentioned it because slowly I've been like Nike and Adidas will always be like the top pet for me, right? It's you can't ever go wrong with a classic or classic Adidas or Nike, right?
Mm-hmm.
But recently, trends tend to change over time. We've seen it with the Wave Runners from the 700s, the Yeezys, and now we're seeing it with Asics, Saucony. Especially, I've seen Saucony like making a comeback recently, and I think next year's gonna be like their comeback year, where I've seen them create new models and new silhouettes from the ground up. So they're keeping up with the trend, and that's pretty dope. And then you also have like New Balance, of course, who's been dominating for like the past 2 or 3 years now, all the way from JJ's to Kith, and all that, right? So like I
Yeah.
think they're really that new trend of like, I guess you could consider it a dash shoe, right? It's like
Yeah, 100%.
it's like an old style, right? So it's I like it, and it's something that I'm hoping that I can keep grabbing like more pairs of those in the future.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely shifting my collection to like mesh runners. I have a whole bunch of Asics, and especially that you're able to scoop them, no hassle. You go online or you go to your store. They're usually 95 to 115, depending on if you want like Asics 1130s, 2160s, or the Kayano 14s. I think the Kayano 14s are the most expensive at like $150 retail. But I've been grabbing those because one, they look good. Two, they're super cozy. Like I'm not trying to shove my foot into an Air Jordan 6 anymore or Air Jordan 7. Like I just want the comfort. New Balance 2002 Rs. That's been like one of my most worn shoes. Like I just throw that on with every outfit. Just neutral colors. I have like LeBron South Beaches right there. I have the Sprites, Kobe Grinches. Like obviously those are like iconic and some of my favorite in my collection. Like I just keep them from sentimental value, and I do bust them out. But like I can't wear the South Beach LeBron with every outfit. But I could just go right there and grab a comfortable Asics and throw that right on my feet, and I think it's pretty clean. And I love all the stuff that New Balance has been doing with, like you said, with John, Kif, Salehi, all those boys have been doing with the quality materials, and it's been pretty available. Like it's not that limited, like how Nike and Adidas was doing.
No, yeah, no, the models are dope. Like they're making them unique in a way in which, like you said, they're comfortable, and so they grab people's attention. Especially, I want to say like the ones that we were going from like collecting to Jordans at one point, into at the as we get older, we just want to tend to go more into the more comfortable route, right?
Yeah,
So it makes perfect sense when you get something comfortable and then you get something hype, or not. I wouldn't say hype, but something that in the realm. You mesh them together, you get the perfect combination, and it creates that hype for people to go after those silhouettes.
yeah, exactly, exactly. So they're tapping back into like, I mean, they're not tapping back in technically because like sneakerheads are always buying Jordans and Nikes and stuff like that, but they're tapping into that older sneakerhead maybe that was collecting when they were 16, and now it's been for 15 years, and now their feet are hurting, so they want to have
Yeah,
something comfortable where they can just run, take errands, something they don't have to think about. It just matches with everything, good quality, and there's some hype. So when the kids see it, they're like, "Ooh, you got the New Balance 2002 art? Okay, I see you." So I think they're doing a great a thing with that, with the mesh runners and all that stuff. So I'm happy about that. I want to get into some of the collabs for Jordan Brand and Nikes. What are your favorite collabs? Would you say like Travis? Would you say Off White? Would you say Atmos?
One of
Whatever.
one of my favorite collabs that actually only one pair so far that I actually love, and I wish they do more collaborations. Is a Cactus Plant Flea Market.
Yeah.
They have some every time they do a collaboration. If I'm not mistaken, it's a female, right, that owns Cactus Plant Flea Market.
Yeah.
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 Time they collaborate with her, she's they always kill it, man. They always kill the collaborations. Everything from the fashion apparel, from the clothing to the shoes, I think it's just dope, right? Another one that I love too is the Off White when Virgil was doing his thing with Nike.
Mm-hmm.
R.I.P. to Virgil, but
R.I.P.
they were doing some dope stuff as well, from the shoes all the way to the clothing as well. So, as for Travis goes, yeah, Travis I think always knocks it out the park with most of his collaborations as well. Um, Obviously I have the dunks right,
Right
so
here, fire.
there you go. I have his ones as well. I think only certain pairs call my attention, but not every shoe. Like I feel like Cactus Plant or Off White have made a more of a bigger impact.
Mm-hmm. Did you get the Fleet twos or no? The one that just recently came out. The ones.
I was actually not. I didn't really. I wasn't a big fan of those, but I've been wanting a pair of the Air Forces that they dropped a while back.
Okay.
But I heard that they're about to release another. They're about to release another pair soon enough. I think next year, sometime next year. But yeah, I have the Air Maxes. The one she dropped. They dropped like a couple like last year I think or 2 years ago.
Okay. Yeah, I know
Yeah,
what you're talking about.
yeah, I have those, and yeah, I want to get more pairs of those, but of like their collaboration, but they're just so hard to get, especially with that new silhouette we saw early in the year, which was it the SBs or last year?
Last year,
The one,
yeah. So it's kind of a new model. It looks like an SB, but it's an that was an Air Fleet one. So then let me hold on. Let me grab the Air Fleet two because I was able to get that one really quick.
yeah, there you go.
So right here. So I actually have the Air Fleet twos. I got the black colorway. This is one I hit on CPFM's website. Got it for retail. Wore it already once. I think it's a pretty clean shoe. Got the big swoosh right here. Got
It's
some
different,
giblets.
I when Nike is able to let the designer do what they need to do in order to create a unique shoe, I think that's the best part. I think they learned that a lot from when they lost Kanye. You know.
Oh yeah, 100%. When they didn't want to give him creative control and they didn't want him to do certain models, certain his own way.
Yeah, I think we've all noticed that they've every person that's come on the table to design with Nike, especially when they're big names such as Cactus Plant Flea Market, we've seen some dope, unique designs, right? Especially Jerry Lorenzo when he was with Nike, right?
Yeah,
It
doing
was
Fear
great.
of Gods.
Fear God, they were dope, they were unique. So
Yeah, no, this one is definitely crazy. Super bulky, super big. There's a big ass rubber tire basically going through my entirety of the shoe, and then this huge Nike swoosh taking up the majority of the shoe. You can change it. You can put it on the side. You can put it reverse, backwards, whatever you want. Snaps in, snaps out. But I wore it. I definitely think it's comfortable. I know with the sizing on this specific pair, a lot of people were talking about it. Some people were saying it fits half size big, a full size big. Some people were even saying two sizes too big. But for me, in my opinion, I wore it for about 2 hours. And I would say it's like a half size big. So you would have to go down. If you're 11, go to 10 and a half. If you went true to size, you'll be okay. But
does it fit like a sock, or is it like does it have laces on it?
no, no laces. No
Oh,
laces. I can take this off. No laces.
just
Just
a strap on.
yeah. So I think. Oh shit. I think that is kind of like the downfall to it. Like not downfall, but like that's the reason why it's fitting a half size bigger, because it's just the straps. So there's no lace whatsoever. So, but I think it's cool. I was happy I was able to hit for retail. Pairs. People were buying these pairs up at like $1,000 plus before they dropped. So RIP to those guys' banks account because they were spending bread on here, and I was able to get it for retail. So
Hey,
yeah,
okay.
we all get blessed. So I kind of want to transition a little bit over into the hat realm. I know that's your expertise. I just want to give you the floor and just talk about basically how you guys started. Maybe for someone that's looking to come up in the hat creation, the hat design, basically how you came up and your love for hats.
Well, it all started back, like I want to say, during the hype when the pandemic started. You
Mm-hmm.
know, that's I was on, obviously on TikTok. So, a lot of trends started. If you go, once you find the algorithm on your TikTok, you start getting all these same stuff. You back to back to back. And one of the things I was getting was like hats, and so I was like, yo, this is kind of dope. I started finding out about Hat Club, and then more stores along the way, and so that's how it started for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yo, this is dope. And then I started with my first hats. They weren't the best, but they were like trash hats. But over time, I built my collection. Just like shoes, when you start out, you probably don't have the best at first, and then when you go back and look at it, you're like, this is not the best thing I could have had
Yeah.
in my collection. So you sell it off, or you just use it as beaters, and then from there you start creating your exclusivity, I guess you could say, right?
Yeah.
So that's how it was for me, right? So. And then I got to a point where I was like, let me just start. So my fiance at this point, she had an iPad. I didn't have my iPad at that moment yet,
Mm-hmm.
and so I just downloaded Photoshop and I just started messing around with it because I saw people make mock-ups, as we call it in the community, right? Mock-ups, designs, and I was like, okay, so I want to do this. I'm like, okay, so I just downloaded the app and I just started doing it. Mind you, I had no back knowledge on how to use Photoshop or any of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I googled YouTube a lot of things on how to like put pieces like
Overlays and stuff like that, kind of.
yeah, it's all that stuff. So I had to learn that all by myself. And even to this day, I'm not the best, but I'm still learning on how to. I'm still getting a grasp of the software to
Mm-hmm.
do better things and as I go on. But yeah, that's how I started out, and it got to a point where like it was for a couple months I was designing, but I wasn't pushing them out. So I was in my head, I was like, what's the point of making this if I'm
Your volume cut out.
oh shit.
Yeah, you got. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, what's the point of making all this if I can't make it into a reality, right? So I
Yeah.
was like, that got me thinking. And at this point, it was like I want to say last year in I want to say August or yeah, it was around August or a little bit before August where I starting out reaching out to stores, right? And then I've reached out to multiple stores and some people that I like. So yeah, stores, mostly stores. And you have to pitch them like if you were getting a job interview. You got to show them what you have. You got to introduce yourself. Um, and above all, the most important thing I always tell everybody is when you're gonna pitch yourself and you're gonna show your work, right? You want to show originality. You want to show these stores or whoever it is what new things you can bring to the table that differentiate the makes you different
Got you.
from
Got you.
anybody else, right? My bad, I couldn't get it out, but yeah, that separates you from the rest of the group, right?
Yeah.
So you gotta stand out in your own way, and I guess I reached out to, like I said, to multiple stores, and then I finally got to Sneaker Town, which is they're based out here in Miami,
Mm-hmm.
in Miami Gardens,
Mm-hmm.
and they were low key the only store I'm not because I work with them now, but it was the store I wanted to work with because we didn't in Florida we only have two stores. So we have Sneaker Town and we have a Pro Image that what didn't exist at that time yet.
Okay.
So it was only Sneaker Town was the only hat store that we had like that. So I was like I reached out to them and they got back to me, the owners got back to me and we changed the numbers and from there they told me to create a couple 10 designs and so we went off based off those original 10 designs and I submitted them and a couple months later I get them and my first drop was in January of this year. So it was four hats that dropped originally on the first drop
Mm-hmm.
and one of them sold out immediately like under a minute.
Do you have any of
And
them?
yeah, let
You
me
show.
let me
You
see.
want to show me one or whatever? If you have the whole collection, whatever you want. Yo, what's up, guys? If y'all are enjoying this content right now, smash that like button. If you are new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We giving out free game. If y'all are interested in learning about hats, look at that hat collection back there. Look at those hats. If y'all are interested in learning on how you guys might become a designer, how to design a hat, make sure y'all tap in. And if you guys know anybody that is looking to learn how to make hats, how to become a hat designer, make sure to send them this video because we giving out free knowledge, y'all. We giving out free knowledge. That's what's going on in this channel right now. Free knowledge. I was just letting them know that we were giving out free knowledge right now. Like we're giving out free knowledge right now.
Yeah, if you look back there, some of those are part of my collection, not all of them. But I have a mess back here. But some of them are. But these, I couldn't find the fourth one, but these three were part of the original collection.
Okay.
So if you go on my IG, you'll see that it's my first pin post. It's because it was my original drop, so that will forever hold the memory for me. So, the first one was this Astros that I dropped.
Green and red. Okay, it's
like
olive green, right?
Olive, yeah, with like a chrome white, like off white, and then green bottom. Can't really see it.
You can't see it. Yeah. Oh, I see it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's there, but
yeah.
the lighting.
It's kind of like the green on like a snapback, kind of.
Yeah, yeah. So that was my original one. This one was I remember when I posted this, I got a lot of it got the attention, it got the
engagement
going,
and everything like that.
Yeah. So this one sold out under like a minute. It didn't even pop out, I think, on the website. So it was gone already.
It did its thing,
So,
huh? Okay.
Yeah. So I was really like right there. I was like, damn, this is like. Okay, I'm doing something right, and then I had this one as well, Tampa Bay Rays.
I mean, when you use that Astro logo, because that Astro logo, going back to the Astro hat, like that Astro logo is hard. Like that's one of the best Astro logos.
Yeah, so
I love that Astro logo.
Yeah, I love this logo as well. So this is actually one of my favorite side patches, the 2002 side patch
for the inaugural season. Okay.
Yeah, it's the Astros. I just wanted to keep it like simple and clean,
Yeah.
It's a star, and then the side patches is very unique, and simple. So it was something that I really wanted to do.
Yeah, it's fine. And then that Rays one is going crazy with that blue and the yellow. Yeah.
So at this point, like I said, I was still learning. Like when they gave me, so when I talked to the owners, there's a New Era catalog, as we call it. So it's New Era gives them a PDF file to each store that they work with, obviously, and so they have like a PDF file with all the colors, materials, the color codings that go for that New Era uses, and so on and so forth. And in that catalog, like I said, I didn't know anything, so I was learning, and I was just putting colors together. The colors may look one way in the catalog. Sorry. Once you get them in hand, they completely look different. So
yeah.
I wouldn't want to say that. Obviously, I try on every hat that I can, right? But at the same time, it's a learning curve because I've never seen the materials or I don't know the material name or colors. So when I do a hat and it comes in, sometimes I may not be myself. I'm not satisfied with it because at the end of the day, I don't really know the stuff. So I'm learning. So this year was a big learning curve for me. It was really a big learning curve. I learned to do to do certain things and certain things not to do, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and so this was one of from the original one, and so was this one. This is Marlins one.
Okay, so it's a Marlin. So is it orange or red? Red with green?
It's a red one. Yeah, color, like I said, I need to get better lighting in here, but yeah, it's like a reddish, and it's like a gray UV with like a yellow bottom.
Okay.
But yeah.
Is there any inspiration for those colors?
Yeah, so every hat that I do is well, not every hat, but in the beginning we called them in the community, in the hat community, we call them hooks.
Okay.
So they're hooked onto for example, these were inspired by it's like animes, right? So this one was, I don't know if you ever watched Samurai Champloo or if you know what that is.
No.
Well, it's inspired by a certain character in the anime. So same with this one. It's another character inspired by another anime. So it was when I came in, I wanted to do things based off anime because I'm a big anime fan.
Uh-huh.
So of different things. So they stem from different animes that I've watched, so that's what I wanted to base my work around.
Mm-hmm.
But as time went by, I also did obviously I stemmed into music, like based off has hooked onto music albums. That's such also like clothing, shoes, so on
Sneaker
and so forth.
colorways.
Yeah. It just stems on. The ideas can go on. It just depends how like what the person wants to do, right? The individual that's creating it. And but more nowadays, like my newest drops, I just freestyle 'em. I just go based off. I put colors and materials that I kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
or that I've been wanting to use for a while, but I haven't. And so that's what I've been doing mostly right now. I've been just doing freestyles of anything, like just throwing stuff together that I think and look well, and that hopefully people will enjoy once I.
Yeah, you might do 1,000 mock-ups and one might come out of it or something. You know, it's
Yeah.
just throwing it. You're just throwing it and testing
Yeah.
it out. I wanted to step back a little bit earlier, and when you were saying that you were doing like mock-ups before you actually got this role, are they like templates online where somebody could get it, or are you like getting the actual hat and you're photoshopping it, or like?
So like pretty much like how it works is you got to look for a template. It's a new you can find them online. They're called New Era templates. It's just pretty much the hat. It's all blank and white. What you do what you do is once you have the catalog is that you grab the software, whatever software you may be using. You don't have to use Photoshop. I personally use Photoshop just
Mhm.
preference, everybody has a preference. But yeah, and then from there you got to find ways to get the colors from the catalog and put them onto the Photoshop. These things you have to learn on your own, things that,
Yeah.
like I said, you have to teach yourself.
Yeah.
Um, and that's what you have to do. You have to pretty much like a coloring book. And then from there, there's a website we go on that people do mockups where you grab the logos, the actual team logos, like the M,
Uh huh.
but the template doesn't have any of that. So you have to source all the logos and the side logos, right? So some of it takes a bit of a work to like searching for specific logos that you may want,
Uh huh.
and then sometimes once you get into the like deep into the realm of on the other side, as like I like to say, the other side of when you're creating and designing,
Mhm.
you notice that you hit a wall because like there might be a logo that you like, and once you put it on and you send it out to New Era, they can deny it because it's not a logo that's any it's as they call it vaulted.
Like the
So you
Cleveland Indian head. I would love to do it
yeah
with that
yes
Cleveland, the big
yes
ass Cleveland Indian head.
yes with
Oh
the Wahoo.
God,
Yeah. That's a perfect example right there. The
God.
Wahoo is it's no longer anymore. We can't use it. So if you see that hat, if you ever go to a store and you see a hat like that laying around, yeah, and that's like a collector's at that point. You can call it. It doesn't exist.
Discontinued item. It's a discontinued
Yeah,
item.
yeah, that logo can't be used anymore. By New Era will automatically deny it if you try to send it in.
Mm.
So yeah.
Okay, and I had another question. So when you were talking about like hat stores in Florida, like how do you know the process on how do you become a hat store? Like, could I open a hat store in Florida, or do you have to have an account? Like, do you know like what? Why is there only two hat stores in Florida? Like, is it
So the
difficult?
So the reason why, from this is from what I heard. I heard that you have to establish a store, right, like a good store, and then you have to have like a good amount of sales. I don't know how much sales it has to be per like how
Uh
many
huh.
items. I heard like it's like 50K. I don't know that you have to sell,
Uh huh.
and then from there you have to send it's a like I guess you could say a proposition to New Era
Uh huh.
to get that deal, but you're not guaranteed the contract with New Era, if that makes any sense.
Mm.
And then they put you, even if you do get it accepted, they put you on a waiting list, and you have to wait for that store to get a contract with New Era. So there was a point in where like it's funny that I mentioned it because there was a point where people wanted to design. Obviously, they couldn't design, right? So they couldn't get that connection with the store to create an official New Era hat.
Yeah.
So what people were doing was they were going to like these like Chinese people and like the third parties to getting them made
Uh
for
huh.
themselves, like, custom. Like I'm talking about like personal creators, people that were doing stuff like that. And some people were basing it off were coming off as like real New Era when they weren't really real New Era, right? They
Yeah.
were just fake New Eras at that point. And it just created that controversy within people within the community saying like Well, aren't B grades considered fake as well? When technically sometimes they're not, like shoes I'm talking about. You
Yeah.
know how sometimes they have defects and they're considered B grades. So it was just that same topic that came aboard. But in the end, nobody could get a if you weren't a store affiliated with the store working and you were creating a new era hat, then it technically wasn't a new era hat because there was no such as a self contract that you can get with a new era like that. You know, you had to
Okay.
go to the store to get that hat made.
Is it just a hat store? Is that all they sell? They sell clothing, sneakers, and other stuff, or is it just a
Yeah,
hat
so
store?
the Sneaker Town, the store I work for, you can go in there and they sell sneakers as well, hats, clothing, jerseys. You can buy jerseys like NBA jerseys, MLB
Okay.
jerseys.
So kind of like a lids with a Foot Locker mix, kind of like
Yeah, pretty
together.
much, yeah, like that, yeah. But they're more like individual, like obviously Lids already, everybody knows Lids, but Foot
Yeah.
Locker also has a contract as well when we're on, but Foot Locker and all those big franchises will never work with anybody like that. So
Yeah.
you you gotta be already in the department of like the Foot Locker and all that.
In order to do
Already,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, no. And then another question with going back to the fakes and the real hats. I've seen like the logo upside down. Is that are those like the custom fake, like the fake on fake, or do New Era allow the logo to be upside down on hats?
Yeah, so certain logos can be upside down. New Era will allow it, but not every logo can get turned upside down. For example, like the M logo, this one, I'll give you another
Mm-hmm.
example. This one, people try to do a W on it because obviously it's an M, but if you flip it up, it's a W,
Yeah.
upside down. So you can't do that. I'm pretty sure you can't do that with certain logos. But for example, the Angels, the Anaheim Angels for the Los Angeles.
Yeah.
I know the A that they have with the halo on top of it, which is iconic. I'm pretty sure you can turn that one upside down. Like I said, not every logo you can turn upside down, but certain ones you can.
And is there like a rule book, or is it just you create the design and then they send it
Uh,
back, and then you just say, okay, now I know the angels can be upside down, but not this one.
yeah, so pretty much like I talk around because I have a contact with the store owners all the time. So like I said, he said it's basically a trial and error. You know,
Hmm.
you gotta go. You just gotta try it out, and like we push it because each store has their own New Era agent. So my store has a specific New Era agent, which they've known for years prior to me meeting them.
Hmm.
Um, and so they have contact with him. He's like, just send it over to the New Era agent and see if he allows it. So we send it over, and if he allows it to go through, it can go through. And if he doesn't, he'll let us know. He's like, yo, like this, we can't do this because so and so and so. And so they send it back, and he's like, yo, you have to rework it, and I have to go from there.
Oh no, that's fire. So that's dope. So I wanted to see, was there any new projects that you guys are working on right now? Anything that you could share? Anything that you're working
Yeah.
on now?
So yeah, for a while I took a little break. I want to say back in I got kind of like burned out, I guess you could say.
Uh
So I
huh.
took a little break, and then for a couple months I wasn't releasing. But um, now that you mention it, tomorrow, Sunday or either tomorrow or Sunday, I'll be on the live for the store for Sneaker Time, previewing new hats that will be dropping going here on out. We should be
Cool.
seeing a whole bunch of brand new drops for the next couple months, and probably good until like midway next year. So I have a
Cool.
lot of
That's fire. You heard it here. You Sneaker Town. You said on their
yeah,
live. All
yeah.
right, so y'all heard it here. If y'all want to check out any of the new collection or some of the hats that could be coming out, might be coming out, will be coming out, make sure y'all check out Sneaker Town on Instagram. That's dope, bro. That's fire that you were able to be like self taught. You're able to go. That just shows you, you got to DM, you got to message people. That's what I do. I message people. I message probably like 5 to 10 people every single day. Whether that's networking, whether that's coming on the live stream, such as I did you, whether that's if I can learn from you, whether if I can work for you, and that just goes to show you that if you DM enough people, you can make your dreams come true.
Man, it's just like I said, it's just self dedication, hard working, right? At the end of the day, if you want something, you gotta work hard for it, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's big or small, however you look at it, it's just work, and with a little bit of luck as well thrown in there, you can get things
That's
Oh,
the
for
right
sure.
formula. That's the right formula.
Yeah.
All right, before we get out of here, I want to know what is your favorite hat in your collection right now, and what is your favorite shoe in your collection right now?
Favorite hat?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you have it, you can show me. If you don't have it, you could tell me, or you could show me a picture of it. Maybe I don't know.
Favorite hat is probably gonna be, not gonna lie to you, it's this one. It's actually the Astros one,
The
to
first
be
one
honest.
means the most.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, listen.
It was just one of the ones. It was one of the ones that I knew before I even the store got it. I had a feeling it was gonna be one of those hits, and it just holds the best memory because when I first released, the fact that it sold out right away, it meant a lot. Knowing that, like, yo, like, I'm doing something right, right? If it's selling out right away, it means I'm doing something right, and I should continue doing this, and that's what I've done. And I had other sellouts, but obviously this one's like the first one in the pack, so the from the ones that I made, so it holds a lot of.
That one, and then what about the sneaker? Is it still the True Blue, or is it you have a more recent
Uh,
one?
Sneakers.
Your favorite sneaker, your favorite sneaker. If the house was on fire, you had to pick one shoe. Which one you picking?
Damn, hold on, let me see. I think it's probably gonna be. I'll show you which one.
Let me see.
All right, so the shoe that I hold more, I have a lot of like more valuable shoes, but this one's still considered like a top dog.
Uh huh.
The reason why I consider this one a valuable one is because my friends and I did did
That's a good one.
off white. My friends and I did a couple years ago. We did like a sneaker exchange with each other,
Uh huh.
and so this one was gifted by them to me.
Oh
And so
wow.
obviously gifts, I can't, like, this shoe I'll never sell. I'll just wear it to the ground. And so this is the shoe that they knew I wanted, and they all came together and they got it for me. So
That's
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 what.
that's one of the best versions right there.
Yeah.
I remember when I was seeing mock-ups for that, so they were showing that basically the metallic colorway, and then they have the sail colorway, which is like the cream and red one. But then they had a grape mock-up, which was like purple, and it had a cream midsole. Oh god, I wanted that one to drop so bad. But this one right here, this black one, it's one of the best ones, bro. And I had a chance to buy that one around 450 price point. Obviously used. This was before Verge was passing, and
Yeah.
I regret never buying it because now it's up there 700, 800, $1,000 range.
Yeah. So mind you, I like the 5 model, but because of the way he did it, so the original fives are usually like bulky in the back, and I'm not a big fan of that. So, but when I saw these, the way he did it, it was just dope. It's, you can wear it more casually than your typical Jordan fives.
Yeah,
But
damn, bro. Seeing that Air Jordan 5, bro, just makes me want to get a pair, bro.
yes,
I'm gonna probably eventually get that in the collection very soon. I might just have to trade some pairs because the wifey right now is telling me if I buy a shoe has to go. So, I gotta find a way to get that pair in the collection. So maybe I'll trade a couple pairs because even just looking at that shoe right now, I'm like, fuck, I want that shit in my collection right now,
very
bro.
dope. I've seen it, and like, what's funny is that I hated it in the beginning, and then there's sometimes there's that shoe that you just like, and over time it just grows over you on
Bro,
you.
yeah, oh god, the Air Jordan 4 Union, the black one, the off
Yeah,
noir. I hated that. I hated all the colorways of the Union Air Jordan 4s. And then the more I see the black off New York, that's the only one I really like. The other ones I still think are ugly, the other three, but the black one for some reason has grown on me. I'm like, shit, I kind of want that one.
yeah.
Especially when we first saw images of it. But listen, we've been here for about 30, 40 minutes now. I'm gonna let them know where to find you. 561 Fit It on Instagram. Any other socials? Do you do anything else? Do you do streaming? Do you do content?
No,
Anything else?
for now I just have my IG, which is the one you mentioned, 561 Fitteds, and you guys can catch me on there. Hopefully in the future I can have I'll be expanding into different things over time.
Yeah, hey, listen, hat creation leads to clothing creation, maybe even sneaker creation. I'll put it out there in the universe. Listen, I appreciate everybody for tuning into live. If you guys are watching this on the playback, make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button. Check out my boy, 561 Fit It. We'll catch you guys in the next live stream.